I opened my wife's WhatsApp and found out the truth with AP. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I tried to keep it short as to not bore you all with too much detail, but I apologize in advance for how long this is. I, 33 male, recently got married to my wife, 32 female, after 2 years of dating. To summarize our relationship, we knew of each other through my sister and our families had been friends for a long time, but we were never formally introduced. However, sometime later we connected over social media and started chatting. After a week or two of chatting, I bought her a ticket, as we lived in different cities, so we could officially meet, and we then made our relationship official during her visit. A year later we were engaged, and 1.5 years after that we were married. All in all, we had been together for about 2.5 years before we got married. So we had been married for just under a month at this stage, and I was looking on my phone for a meme I sent to her some time back. I wasn't able to find it, so I decided to go check her phone. She was sleeping on the couch, so I didn't want to wake her. I knew her password as I had seen her enter it a few times in the past and thought it wouldn't be a big deal to have a look at her WhatsApp images, since that's how I sent the meme. For the record, she often goes through the images on my phone and I have no problem with it since she's my wife, girlfriend at the time too, and I have nothing to hide. Anyway, as I go through her images I found a DCK pic in her gallery. My heart immediately sank. I've been cheated on before by my previous girlfriend, and I also found a DCK pic on her phone, so I recognized the symptoms. Naturally, I wanted to find out who the picture came from, so I started searching through her WhatsApp chats. Now let me be the first to say that I'm not proud of what I did, but I know from experience that simply asking about the picture wouldn't yield the truth. And that was what I was after, the truth. After doing a broad search I couldn't find anything initially. Then I stumbled upon her chat with her best friend, in which she refers to a guy we will call Mark. She has never mentioned a Mark to me before, and I know most of her friends, at least by name. She goes on to tell her friend that she had unprotected sex with Mark and that she had just found out, after they had sex, that Mark had gotten another girl pregnant. The message was dated such that it was less than a month into us becoming dating exclusively. As I would continue reading I found out that she had a relationship with Mark before I was in the picture, and she would go on dates with him. He would send her money and they would talk about any and everything. From what I read, this continued throughout our dating and even after I had proposed to her. The thing that shocked me the most was that a few days before we were due to move in together, she got a job in my city about 6 months before our wedding. She went on a date with him and she told her friend everything in me wants to have sex with Mark. Obviously, this made me feel sick. I couldn't believe this, and it was so hard for me to concentrate on anything. It felt like my soul had been shattered into a million pieces. However, despite all I decided to take a few days to figure out what I was going to do about what I found. There was no way for me to confront her without exposing the fact that I not only knew her password but I had gone through her phone, all without her knowledge. I took a few screenshots while I read, and I made the decision that I would confess what I had done and confront her. I told myself that if the trust is going to be broken, then let it be broken both ways. So one evening I sat her down and told her what I had found. She was originally upset with me about the fact that I had gone through her phone, but then the attention quickly turned to the DCK pic. At first, she said it was nothing and that it was just a random guy. I then told her I knew about Mark after reading her messages with her best friend. After some back and forth she eventually confessed to everything I read. She said they only had sex once after we were exclusive, which I don't believe, and that he meant nothing to her. I also found out that Mark is in fact married with children, and that, weeks before meeting me, she had a pregnancy scare which would have made him the father. We talked at length about it and she was in tears and apologized for what she had done. We agreed it would take time but we could move on from this. The next day she completely ignored me. I asked her how she was feeling and if she wanted to talk. Most of the time she wouldn't reply or would say I have nothing to say. I came to find out that she was angry at me for looking through her phone, which I can understand to a certain extent, but what was more telling is that she didn't once find out how I felt. She never asked how I was doing or if I was okay. I started to ask myself who cheated on who here? The following day we had another long talk and we agreed that this wasn't healthy for our relationship, so we agreed to move on. Since then my mind has been going crazy with questions. I kept wondering why she needed to keep the relationship with Mark going. I made my intentions clear to her and I followed it up with action, proposal plus marriage. Why wasn't that enough for her? Is she in love with Mark? She claims she's not, but I don't know how you can continue something like that with someone you don't have feelings for. Particularly 2 years down the line, and she's saying things like everything in me wants to have sex with Mark. The other problem is that it makes me question everything now. Like if she had told me she cheated so soon into our relationship, would we have even gotten married? Is she with me because Mark wasn't available and I was the next best option? Does she even love me as she claims? The worst part is that things that weren't issues before are now issues. Like we were at a party with some friends, people we usually hang out with, and she wanted some drinks and snacks, so she asked one of our male friends to take her to the store. Now if this was before it wouldn't have mattered, but now it makes me super jealous and paranoid. Like, why didn't she ask me first to take her? What is really going on between the two of them? I find myself watching the time to see how long they've been gone alone together and what they looked like when they came back. I hate it. I hate thinking like this. I hate what this cheating has made me become. The mistrust I have for her now. It's not me, it's not who I want to be. Someone tell me, how can I trust her again? What should I do? How can I actually move forward? To whoever reads this, I thank you. Here are some best comments from community. Of course you're going to be paranoid and jealous because you have good reason to be. It doesn't help that, at least from where I'm sitting and reading, the move on that the two of you agreed to sounds like rug sweeping. You're better off sitting with your wife, asking her the questions you posted, and demanding complete honesty. You're fighting an uphill battle, and I really don't like your chances because it really does seem to me like your plan B to her. You're only going to find the answers to your questions with her. Here's a hint: when you sit down and have that difficult conversation with her, listen to her words but don't take them at face value, watch her body language and nonverbal cues. Best of luck, man. Or generally upset with me about the fact that I had gone through her phone. The next day she completely ignored me. Would say I have nothing to say. We agreed that this wasn't healthy for our relationship, so we agreed to move on. Rug sweeping is not a solution. May I ask, what are you still doing with her? There is no reconciliation without remorse, and she is not remorseful. Like Nero Aldrin 20 already wrote, she should be on her knees begging for forgiveness. Came clean only after you showed evidence you had. Stop acting like doormat. She won't respect you. You were backup/plan B. Expose her. Contact Mark's wife and inform her what you know. You don't want this to repeat in future with kids involved. Save yourself from future drama. Lawyer up and end this madness. She only revealed the cheating when you told her you had evidence of it. What if there are other things you don't know about? Obviously she made the mistake of putting some things in writing and had no choice but to admit. If you hadn't had the proof, she would have lied. So I wouldn't even trust that Mark is the only guy, or that you're safe going forward. You can't trust her again. She lied right off, got angry at you for catching her cheating, and then lied and said it was just one time. There are probably other men as well. And you are early in a marriage, that's scary. Here's how my story ended. I gave my ex-wife a second chance. She had lied about the initial cheating, she eventually cheated again, and she was gone. Divorced now. My advice is not to trust your wife. She's done nothing to deserve that trust. Don't trust people who are still lying to you, and she obviously is. If this is who she is as a person, you're doomed if you have kids or combined finances. What the hell did I just read? Your wife was cheating with a married man when she met you and kept cheating after you agreed to be exclusive. Why would you want to continue a relationship with this person? They were a willing participant in a cheating relationship and maintained that cheating relationship after entering into one with you. She is very clearly mad you found out and is treating you like shit because you found out she is a cheater without a conscience. You feel awful all the time now because she is an unrepentant cheater without remorse. What is keeping you in this relationship? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.